today I'm here for 7 on Sunday. So today we're going to be talking about some of the biggest books on our TBRs, and the way I'm taking this is big as in physical side, but big is also intimidating and I don't want to read it because I'm scared. So that's where I'm at, and I just want to talk about some of the books that are just very difficult to actually pick up at the moment because I'm scared. So the first one is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and I'm talking about this one first because I have actually started reading it and it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, like in the sense that I was so scared because this book is like 800 pages and I'm like, that is too much for me right now. But I'm doing a read along with some friends on Instagram, but it's funny because we should have already been about halfway through the book by now and I've only read 56 pages, so I'm doing very bad. I even put the tabs in for where we had to get up to, so we should have been up to this tab and I haven't because I've been finishing off a lot of books at the moment. I'm really proud of myself because I've already read 2 books this month and I'm nearly finished another one, and the audiobook I'm listening to is nearly done, so that's already 4 books nearly for halfway through the month, and I'm going very well. But I really did want to finish this month, but I'm just getting all my current reads done and then I'll probably pick this back up again, but then I've got a readathon that I have to do, so I don't know when it's going to happen. But basically this is just scary because it's high fantasy, it's daunting, there is a lot of pages and there's just a lot going on. Next I want to talk about Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, which is the book I mention every 7 on Sunday without a doubt. So it's just intimidating because of the size and because there are so many Shadowhunter books out there that I have not read now, and I'm just concerned. But I am never going to stop mentioning this until I actually read it, and then I probably won't stop mentioning it because I have read it. But I just, yeah, I'm just kind of scared. Okay, the next book I want to talk about is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, because this is a little book, right? It's a very tiny paperback, but there's actually 500 pages. Like, does this look like it's 500 pages? Like, there is some thin-ass Bible pages going on here, and I was gonna pick this up for a readathon last year because I'm like, oh yeah, this will be a good book, and then I'm like, oh my god, there's like 550 pages in this tiny paperback. So this is one that is intimidating now because like I have seen the movie and I really enjoyed it, and I do want to read this trilogy because I own all of them. So I feel like this is just a surprisingly large book that scares me. Next I want to talk about Skyward by Brendan Sanderson. So for one thing, there is a lot of hype surrounding this book and I'm sure I'm gonna like it because everyone talks it up so well, and I'm like, oh god, it looks like it's gonna be interesting. But like now the sequel is out and I still haven't read it, and I don't think this book is like that big. Oh, it's over 500 pages, but I just feel that like I keep putting it off for some reason, and I do want to read it, but it just seems like a book that's not going to get read for a while, and just again the hype. But I do hope to get to this at some point. Here's another one I mentioned quite a bit, but that is Winter by Marissa Meyer, because I still have not read this book. I can't believe it, but they have changed the paperback for this to look deceptively small, even though this is like 800 pages. I started doing a reread of all the books and I read Cinder in January, and now it is October and I have not accomplished this. I should have already read this if I kept up with the reread schedule, and now I'm like, oh crap, like I'm probably going to forget what happened in Cinder and I'll have to read it a 3rd time just to carry on. But it's just funny because I had plans to do it and me and Sasha were going to do this, but then we just didn't because we suck at buddy reads. But I do want to finally read this, but for some reason I get to Fairest and then I just stop, and I just need to, but I just haven't done it yet. But it is a big ass book, but I know I'm going to enjoy it. Next I want to talk about Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. So I have made progress in this series by finally reading the 2nd book and then also reading Night of Cake and Puppets. That was the little novella thing, so I'm up to date. Like I could just pick this up today and just start reading it and not be worried, but like I don't know, man. The story has just changed so much from what it was in the 1st book, and like the 1st book is the best thing. I like that story, but it just went in a weird direction and things are just weird now, and like I just don't know. So like I do want to read this, but I'm also just kind of like, what's gonna happen in this book, because again it's just turning into something that's just a bit different. But I do want to finish the trilogy and I've had this for so long, but I just really want to read this, but I just doubt it's gonna happen even like this year, hopefully maybe next year, but like I don't know. And the last book I want to talk about is The Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. So I don't think I've mentioned this series for a very long time, but I got sent this book as a birthday present from someone who I was friends with on Instagram like a few years ago, but I haven't talked to. Like we fell out of contact and like I can't find her anymore, but she sent me this for Christmas because she knew I'd read the first 2 books, but then it was kind of like, oh, I hated them and I wasn't planning on buying the sequel, so it's just been sitting there for a long time. But this is actually a massive book. Like we have got, yeah, 660 pages of book to read here, and just I don't know how I feel, so it's just been chilling there. And I kind of feel like maybe I need to reread the first one because maybe I judged it too harshly because everyone's obsessed with The Darker Shade of Magic and I just don't like Lila, and I didn't really feel anything about Kel, and it wasn't my thing. But I've had this for so long and I just don't know when I'm gonna read it. Okay, seriously, it's the heft for me. I'm like getting a workout just from holding up these 7 books, but this is a lot. Like this takes up a lot of space in the TBR and in the bookshelves in general. But guys, that is my video for today's 7 on Sunday. And like these books, there is no timeline whatsoever because I just don't want that pressure right now. But I hope to get to them eventually, and then hopefully my intimidating and large books on my TBR will only be like 400-page books. Like that would be helpful, you know? But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video and I'll see you guys later. Bye!